Up, and then we should be live. This meeting is being live streamed. Hey, thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate your time for this episode of the Hip Hop Humboldt podcast. Hey,
Oh,
one
yeah.
second. Got the echo. We don't want to do that. It opened up the live stream. I don't want to watch it. That's like on the radio. That's like on the radio. Remember that, y'all, when you call into the radio and they'd be like, turn your radio
Yeah.
down. Turn your radio down.
I'm trying to hear myself though. I'm trying to hear myself on the
Right?
radio.
I know you got a headphone that, Hey, I really appreciate y'all's time this morning to join me to talk about what you guys have got going on. So first, I want to introduce the both of you, the viewers and the fans in Humboldt County and outside of Humboldt County as well. Might already know Kai's J from LCA. What's up, Kai's J? Thanks for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, man.
Thank you, fam. And then we also got Jay. Jay's joining us from Humboldt County. I'm also in Humboldt County right now. Thanks for joining, Jay.
Jay,
Yeah,
are
no
you
problem.
in Humboldt or are you in Chico?
I'm in Chico right now.
Oh, okay. Hey, we got a 3-point plan going on. I love it right here. That's what's up right now. We're all tapping in from different spots, but all repping Humboldt County.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so I just wanted to do something real quick because Jay, I feel like you definitely at some point you're gonna need your own episode, to talk about what you've done up on here. But hey, man, just let me give you like a couple minutes to just like talk for you to talk about what you've been doing like over the years. You know what I'm saying? So that way folks know who you are, and then we'll start tapping into the conversation.
For sure, man. I go by Ambitious 530. I'm out of Chico, but I was raised out there in Humboldt. Humboldt's always been home to me. Man, it all started with I think the first group out of Humboldt, man, that I ever heard of was LCA, was Kai's Mental Case and all them. I remember my uncle, which is he knows Kai's. They grew up together. He showed me their CD, the bottom of the bottle. And man, I had the jacket from him. I burnt it onto another CD, my bad Kai's. Man, I slapped that all the time. I left Humboldt, came back, and then that's when Humboldt Storms came out, man. And then ever since then, I've always been wanting to do music. And over the years, I have, and I just opened up a studio at a youth center out here in Chico not too long ago with a couple of buddies of mine, and we just been trying to, get it off the ground and stuff.
That's what's up. Heck yeah. No, I love to see artists, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, branching out of Humboldt County is almost a natural progression because there's just, things going on in other places, you know what I'm saying, people to tap in with and everything. So I love to see it. I mean, so Humboldt Storms, this first one, Kajay was showing it on the screen earlier. He actually got a copy of that original, you know what I'm saying? So people in Humboldt County are going to remember that one if you were tapping in with Humboldt County Hip Hop, right? We had some big names on there. This is in the days of, when Potluck was making a big wave, right? And so on that Humboldt Storms, we had big names talking about like Tech Nine, you know what I'm saying?
We
Who
had
else was on there, Kajay?
Loonies, Cottonmouth Kings, Haystack. And this is just, on the cover. And this is also back in the days, like it wasn't like everybody had a studio accessible back then. We were still a lot of analog, you know what I mean? So it wasn't that easy to throw this, this thing together. And this was really the birth from Oli from Diamondback again. I know we've had a lot of these podcasts where a lot of people mention Oli from and Diamondback Entertainment. They was putting out big shows, big names coming to Humboldt. And so this was kind of his baby, and he kind of started this. And a lot of people may not know also that there was actually a second one in the works that never got released. So, and the second one, so I don't know if too many people actually have seen this, but this was the second one. It was going to be called The Purple Plague.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so
that's what's up.
So, and this one, I mean, we're talking, and it never really got released because there was supposed to be like a cartoon film that went with it, and this And this person, what is her name? Maria Kanellis, aka Lady Jane. Now I don't remember if she was a Playboy model or if she was like a WWE wrestler or something. She was lightweight famous.
Oh wow.
And she was going to be starring in this like film that they were going to go attach to the Humboldt Storm CD. And then, I mean, we're talking about Ill Bill, Sabak Red, Sadat X, Capadonna, Dirtball from Cottonmouth Kings, Potluck, Black Sea from RBL, Blaze Your Dead Homie, Selly Cell, Yuck Mouth, Tech Nine, and it actually had some production by Jelly Roll, who is now obviously like blowing off the charts. I know B Swizz was also a big part of some of the production in that. So that's one thing that a bunch of people, you know, it was just a few of us that kind of knew because we were close to Oli that this, you know, this CD was going to come out. And I don't remember exactly why it didn't or what happened, but yeah, I know Oli still got some of these tracks and stuff in the vault somewhere.
Oh, bad, most definitely. Hey, shout out to Oli real quick too, though, man, and shout out to Oli and Diamondback, Big Daddy. They really were, you know what I'm saying? For any of the younger cats that don't know what was going on in Humboldt County hip hop that may have just moved in, you know what I'm saying, for the school or whatever it is, Diamondback Productions had the whole scene. They were the scene. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Oli and Big Daddy were making everything happen. They were putting artists on shows. They were making big shows happen. You know what I'm saying? They were doing it.
And I think Jay can attest to this too. Is like when you grow up in Humboldt and it's such a small place and not a lot happens there, but then you see other people around you in Humboldt doing music and getting the opportunity to perform with these bigger names, and these bigger names are coming through Humboldt. It kind of made you think that, you know, you could do this too. You know what I mean? It made you want to do it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you were like, I live in a small place. I can never do shit out of here or whatever. You were like, okay, like, look, these guys are doing it. I think I could do it. It was encouraging, you know what I mean? Like, because when I started doing it, it was just party, you know, we were partying and hitting freestyles, you know, and then it grew into something different. And I know a lot of people later on in the years were like, man, I watched you guys and that made me want to do it. You know, made me think that it was a possibility.
See, that's crucial.
Exactly. When Humboldt Storms came out, that's what like sparked my interest was because like I already knew that like LCA was there and all that, and then to see Humboldt Storms come out and just I don't know, it just like sparked my interest with it, knowing that these guys were in the same town as me doing big ass things like that. Like that's what to me it was just amazing at the time to see something like that.
You're living proof of what Kai J just said.
Yeah.
You know, it inspired you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up.
It was crazy when it hit me up too, because you know I hadn't thought about it in such a long time, and I have all these historical posters. You know, like I got a pile of posters, you know, flyers that are like, you know, people wouldn't even realize some of the people that played there because they were either too young or they didn't live there. But you know, he hit me up and he had this long message about how, you know, he had been hitting everybody up and no one had responded, and I was like, damn, I forgot about Humboldt Storms. You know what I mean? It kind of fell off the radar. Even I continued doing music pretty solid for another 8 to 10 years, and we kind of just, you know, kind of fell off. So we kind of forgot about it. And then he hit me up and he was like, you know, it's not even like about like it's not about money or any of that. It's just something that, you know, influenced him, and he had been wondering like what happened to it. And then I kind of started like, yeah, what did happen? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my old man memory was like, why did that just fall off? Because it was such a big thing. The first one was great, you know what I mean? And knowing that the second one, I know Oli was putting a lot of work into that second one. He was wanting to really it just be bigger than life, you know, bigger than Humboldt. And so when he hit me up, I was stoked because I really kind of have been dabbling a little bit more writing and stuff. Like it kind of like got me fired up. I was like, yeah, man, let me reach out to Oli, because, you know, I don't know if the rights are even, I know it had a distribution situation, right? I know I had a distribution deal, and I don't know if all those points were met to release, you know, when with contracts and stuff. I think people don't realize, like, when you don't meet contractually the obligations that you're supposed to meet, well, sometimes you don't own your own shit. You know what I mean? That's just how there is. You don't necessarily have, just because you created it doesn't mean you have the rights to keep pushing it if you're in a contract with somebody. So I told Jay I would hit him up, and then I would get back to him. And then I told Jay in the meantime, I was like, you know, like, because his uncle's like a brother to me. Like, you know, we have matching tattoos, and, you know, I mean, like, we grew up like strong. So when he told me that, I was like, okay, I know this kid really, like, and not that he's a kid, but, you know, I'm old, so I call everybody a kid. But this guy really, he's not lying. Like, he's telling the truth. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was like, in the meantime, let's do work. Why not? You know, let's make some songs. And I mean, he fired beats at me like within minutes, like, and like sick ass beats. And like, I wrote like 2 verses in an hour driving to work in my head. I was like, had me fired up. I was stoked to see that, you know, when you do the music or whatever, and then you start to kind of fade out of it, is that I did, like, you know, and now I'm not living in Humboldt. When I lived in Humboldt, I used to run into people all the time, like, oh yeah, you were in LC. I used to listen to your shit. But now it's like, no one, you know, I don't get that shit anywhere around here because no one knows. And I live in a small town. But to have someone come out and be influenced by it was definitely, it was definitely exciting. I thought it was cool. It was for sure cool.
Heck yeah. No, I love to see it. And then, I mean, y'all are holding the torch and, you know, keeping it going now, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, we kind of got, we don't really have like a plan necessarily intact, because it just came about so fast. And then, you know, I talked to Oli, and he was like, hey, he was excited too. He was like, man, to have that kind of influence years later, for someone to pop up and say that it influenced them, and that they want to carry the torch. He was like, yeah, man, thumbs up, like, for sure. Let's, you know, I'll do what I can, but I can't be super involved. But I definitely, all the obligations for distribution were met, so we could use logos, we could use whatever. And he told me, let Jay know that he appreciates that, you know, he reached out, and that he even had the concern to keep it going. So you know, we got excited. We put it online, and of course, we got a huge response, right? Like, I have people hit me up that I haven't heard from in years, like, you know, even people that aren't on social media. Case hit me up and was like, what's this thing about Humboldt Storms? You know, he don't even have social media. And I was like, man, it's been like 5 minutes. How'd you find out so quick? You know what I mean? We just posted it like an hour ago, maybe. So
yeah, so, shout out to the homie Case.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I don't think we don't have like a detailed plan yet, other than, you know, Jay and I have talked a few times about, you know, he's in Chico, I'm out here, kind of, you know, in the Bay Area, and really the plan was always it being like a album where people collaborate, right? Whether it's big artists or not, it was like a whole thing was trying to be, you know, collaborative. So I think going forward, what we're trying to do is just kind of get people together from his area, from Humboldt, and, you know, like, and get some songs, you know, and not only that, but use this as an opportunity to maybe, like, you know, connect on shows, basically just, you know, connect and put in the work.
It's crucial. I love to see it. No, I love to see it because it takes, you know, something with some meaning to pull people together. You know what I'm saying? And so a plan like this is perfect for it. And I just want to say, you know, like, you guys may not have, you know, you talk about, you guys don't have the exact plan right now. Like, it's more like you guys have the vision. See, that's the crucial part, right? That's the first step. And see, I wanted to also point out something real quick too, on a side note. With the first Humboldt Storms, I want to ask you guys, Jay, because somebody, you know, whether it was Oli or a group of people, somebody had the vision and the right move. They had it to be able to make the moves to say, hey, we also want visuals as a part of this, like the DVD and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's whoever had that vision, or the group of people that had that vision, that was crucial because they were ahead of their time. Because if you think about it, you know, now we live in this very video age, right? Where it's just like it has to be there now, right? So those people that were doing it, you guys that were doing it, know what I'm saying? That was vision. That was ahead of your time. That's, pioneering the video aspect of this whole thing. I was talking to somebody that you guys may know, just kind of a legend around here, Bob Duran, right? But he was talking to me about, he's like, hey man, like he's like, I know there's already a bunch of different pillars of hip hop, but he's like, hey, there's really like the pillar of hip hop, a new pillar, and it's video. Without video, what I'm saying, it's really taking things in different directions. And without video, you almost have like no presence. And so shout out to y'all for even with the first Humboldt Storms, you know what I'm saying? Y'all had a DVD with it. That's vision.
And a lot of that was footage from shows and like you said, back then it wasn't like we all had a video recorder in our pockets. So if you had like a VHS recorder, even that goes back that far, or you had a DVD recorder, like you spent some bread. You spent like $2,000 trying to you carrying this thing around trying to get all the footage. And so a lot of that came from Summerfest, which was a big deal back then. Which is Summerfest is kind of what started the movement for Oli, was him pushing the Summerfest to use that as a way to promote Kid Rock, and then it just turned into something so much bigger. And then so the video footage, it was always good. He always wanted to like make sure that we captured as much as we could, because I think he kind of had an idea that at some point all this history was going to be important to make sure that we were, catching as much of it as we could. And me personally as well. Like, I know a lot of guys probably, may have saved a flyer here and there when it was like a big show that they were on or whatever. But I just have this stack of flyers that could cover a whole entire fucking room. You know what I mean? From like shows that I wasn't even on, just shows that were in Humboldt. I would see, big people coming to Humboldt. Even if we weren't on it, I was there usually, you know what I mean? I would go if I wasn't part of it, just to support. And because I was a fan first, but I have a stack of flyers that's just like this legendary stack of, 10 years of flyers that I've been keeping with me forever. And I know Case is the same way. I mean, we just, and I think I showed you last time when I was on the podcast, I got like everybody's CD that came out, because back then we was pushing CDs. I mean, I got all the Rat CDs, I got all Highway CDs, I got people that I just didn't even if I didn't really like listen to their stuff, because it's not a matter of like, I think nowadays we get caught up in if you're not like cheering somebody on, then you're a hater. But really, it's like, you can respect their hustle, right? So even people that I didn't even mess with, if I respected their hustle and they were putting out shit, I was collecting it. I had to keep, I got shit that's wrapped still in plastic, like you wouldn't believe.
Hey, you a real fan. That's a sign of a true fan, man. You know what I'm saying? I love the folks that have the real love for the craft.
Absolutely. Fan first. If you're not a fan first, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to not be a fan first.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Hey, so I want to make sure during this podcast that we, put the call out to the community. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some younger cats, I'm saying, I'm just thinking about some ideas, because, I know cats. Just for instance, shout out to my homie Albert. He's from Fresno, and he's got, I'm not trying to just drop, what he's doing and everything like that, but he's got like the Pashawn hookup. You know what I'm saying? That might be a dope name if what I'm saying, on Humboldt Storms. Get some Pashawn, or even somebody else from Fresno, some Planet Asia or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got some hookups in Fresno. It's all just about, bringing it all together, and the homies, making this happen. And I'm going to love to see it.
Absolutely. And I think for the most part, I think, and especially since this was kind of, it was kind of Jay's thing to reach out, and he wanted, to get this thing together. I think a lot of the stuff is going to be going through Jay. I wish I had more time to spend on it, but I think for the most part, Jay's going to be, kind of the lead guy to talk to. But I definitely, it's crazy because, it's a small world. Like, Hap Hathaway, who you had on the podcast, was also originally from Fresno. He knew he was, he had some Planet Asia kind of connections there too. And when I went out on tour with Hap, he definitely Fresno was, he was well known in Fresno, and Hap is now in Chico, where Jay's at. So like I think we definitely want people to know that if they got the connections, like, and they got songs they want to put on there. I think, Jay's got an email address, and he's the guy definitely to reach out to. But I mean, obviously I love to hear all the stuff and be a part of it. But I think for the most part, I think, Jay's going to be the main source. And Jay, if you don't start talking, bro, I'll talk the whole entire time. You got to cut me off sometimes because I don't shut the fuck up.
I'm so used to just watching the podcast, bro. I forgot I was a part of this right now. I said I work from watch this.
Hey, you sounds like you the point man. No, hey, I saw that you started the Facebook group, Jay. You know what I'm saying? So that's a crucial one. Shout out to you for that. I'm seeing a lot of people tap in there. That's gonna be a hub for a lot. So if folks are on Facebook, make sure you tap in with Jay and get in the Facebook group for Humboldt Storms.
Yeah, then when I was talking to guys not too long ago about it, he wanted to call it Generations, which I think is a cool idea too, because I kind of wanted to mix like the old school generation with the new school out there right now, and then get everybody from like Chico and like you guys said, Fresno and all that. Just mix it all together, give everybody a spot to shine,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. Nah, I see it. Hey, just real quick too, something I just want to put on the podcast because we here talking about this is shout out to the homie Juice that runs the Juicebox here in Humboldt County, because see, he's the manager of City Hippie. And so City Hippie's been doing concerts out in Reading. And they actually just did a small tour where they went out to Chico as well. So it's all about that. You know what I'm saying? They might know some artists out there too. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get that collaboration going. I'm gonna make sure that Jay gets linked up with Juice.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Now I love to see this, fellas. This is what it's all about. This is the community taking it to not even new levels because it's been done before, but it's just something new. It's going to be the volume 2. We're going to finally get to see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whether it's going to exactly follow that last one, the last visual on that, but what was going to be volume 2, the purple, the one that Kai's had, what was it, the purple?
Purple Plague.
Yeah, see, that one was looking sick. So I can only imagine what this is going to be like with all the homies in on it. You know what I'm saying? And somebody making a dope visuals. I'm sure. Hey, there was the visuals the president was already said. There's already been visuals with the first one. So I'm only assumed there's going to be visuals with the second one. And I can't wait for that.
And that's the thing we want people to know too, because maybe you have something to contribute if you're not necessarily a recording artist. Maybe we would love to see some cover art. We would love to put some videos out there. And I've definitely had a lot of people reach out to me. I had a homie named Chris Cross reach out to me and let me know he could do mixing and mastering. So we make this sound real good across the board. Swizz obviously reached out and said he's down to do whatever. So we would love to get some art for any artists out there. Draw, paint, graffiti, whatever it might be. Maybe we could get some merch through Fat Bowl. You know what I mean? And Jay and I were talking, and if we get some beautiful merch going, we would love to get that merch going and use a portion of the proceeds to maybe benefit some local spots where kids can go and learn how to record or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Do a little good for the hip hop community, as well as helping people get their names out there, whether they're new to the Humboldt hip hop or hip hop period, or whether they've been around for a long time and just looking to kind of dip their toes back in the game. There's a lot of things, that could be done. And I think it's a good thing for guys like Jay to carry the torch, you know what I mean? And hopefully inspire other kids younger than him to continue to do the same thing.
100%. No, I personally know cats in the community that, just for instance, there's only so many places to record. So again, shout out to Juice, shout out to Jay the Sarge, who's got a studio out there, Sequoia Falk,
Yep.
the places that you can go and record. But a lot of the homies that I know, what I'm saying, it's just hard times. And so they don't even have money to record. So shout out to y'all for, supporting the community and, giving some people some money to record. You know what I mean? That's important.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because, like a little bit of influence goes a long way.
Mhm. It's going to be the perfect seeds for the part 3, volume
I
3.
think that's going to be the name of the first single. A little bit of influence goes a long way. Nah, just fucking
Hey,
with you.
it is a bar though. Nah, hey, y'all got the right thing going here with this. I love to see it just for Humboldt County hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the type of thing where I feel a lot of people are going to be tapping in with this project. You know, it's going to create a lot of networking in the community. And so that's that growth. We need that. We need that. And so whether it's, you know, we need hubs, we need more infrastructure for Humboldt County hip hop, whether it's shout out to Julia at the Epitome Gallery, you know what I'm saying, or the Fat Bowl Cipher, or the Inside Cipher. You got, you know, me doing the podcast. You got the studios that are out there doing it. We need more and more of that infrastructure. Hey, anybody that's out there, you know, trying to do, you know, that wants to start a podcast and has a dope idea, we need that in Humboldt County. We need people understanding that hip hop is not a small community. It's for some reason I feel like it's a little misrepresented. There's a lot of people in Humboldt County doing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that just don't necessarily want to, you know, surface, you know, come to the surface all the time and everything like that. It can be a little hard when it's really hard to like get on when like hip hop has a hard time because there's not a whole lot of infrastructure. It's hard for there to be places and space for people. You know what I'm saying? So we're creating that more and more in Humboldt County. And shout out to y'all, not even in Humboldt County, but still have love for Humboldt, still doing the work and putting work in. You know, that's crucial. So shout out to y'all.
For sure. And I don't know, Jay, do you got connections with places for live performances in Chico?
Yeah, a couple of them, a couple of bars and stuff like that. I'm trying to find just in case there's like a younger cat on the roster or something. Trying to find like something for like a all age type of event place.
Yeah, that's always been a really hard thing is finding those all age venues. God, even all the way back when we were just getting started, it was really hard. You know, you come across one of those here and there, and you're stoked because you can get the younger guys in. But yeah, it's hard to find all age venues. But I encourage people to reach out to Jay, and you know, like the same thing I talked about when I was on last time is that. You know, I'm sure Jay would love to come to Humboldt and do some shows with his shit, and it works well when people set up, you know, even if they're small shows, it start off as small, like, hey, you come here and do a show with me in Humboldt, and then I come out to Chico and do a show with you. That's like, you know, that's like the main way that LCA got our names out there was we would link up with cats from Ukiah and Redding and Chico and just trade shows because we had one or two spots where we could do shows in Humboldt. We would bring them on to open up for us and they would do the same. And so I'm hoping that this creates more of a networking program where people can not just record, but if you just, you know, and not that there's anything wrong with just staying in Humboldt, but if you just stay in Humboldt, well, you just going to stay in Humboldt. And, you know, we didn't blow up like super huge or whatever, but, you know, we get some good crowds in Chico. We got some good crowds in Redding, and you start getting your music out there a little bit further than your hometown. It's only going to benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's the smart play. You got to, you know, you got to build it up in your hometown and then start to branch out.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
You could be a local hero. That's fine. But, you know, I think, you know, guys like Jay and a lot of people that I think in Humboldt right now are wanting to branch out and be a little bit bigger than just, you know, hometown hero. Like, it's easy to be a hometown hero in Humboldt. You could do, you know, 1 million shows and everybody love you. But, you know, and the other thing, you know, it's you go out of town, that's where the test is, because, you know, you gotta put on a good performance to get, you know, they'll come out for the hometown heroes, but, you know, when you're going on first for the hometown heroes, it's a lot of crickets there. You know what I mean? This is just, you know, we used to have a saying, it was 5 or 500. It didn't matter. We go hard no matter what. Right. So that way we come back the next time and they were like, these motherfuckers put on a show last time. They only had 5 people, but now they got 500. You know what I mean? So taking yourself out of town will put you to the test. You know, you gotta, in order to be a hip hop artist in general, you gotta learn how to accept rejection. That's just all there is to it. Not everybody's gonna love your shit.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? But in Humboldt County, we've had the examples of, shout out to the homie Highway, who has we've just recently seen him. I think he's done 2 tours this year, the West Coast Love Tour and the Believers 10 tour, and go out there and kill it. And it's like you said, Highway. Well, so Highway is going to go out there and give it his 100. He's going to give it 100 every single time. You know what I'm saying? That's just Highway, and that's how he operates. And so that's setting that stage. That's what like folks have to do. You got to go
Yeah.
out of town and give it 100 every single time.
I love to see that because, honestly, I have to say that a lot of that, and I'm not taking credit for anything that he does aside from when I always, when Highway and I put an album together and we were doing shows together, I told him, I was like, it doesn't matter how great or bad the recordings are. If we go out and we kill this show, we're gonna do it. And I pushed, like I told him all the time, we just gotta keep practicing, make sure our shit is so on point. And people, when him and I performed together, they was like, we would just make headliners just pissed, bro. Like, and I see him continuing that, like, and I feel like I was a little bit of a direct influence on his stage performance. And even he'll tell you, like, I was just a mad scientist about our performance, just making sure we were on point, backing each other up, never going over our never having our vocals in the background because there was 2 of us. If you're a solo stage artist, then sometimes it's good to have a ghost track or maybe just a highlight, just the ad libs but that was like, it's like watching, not watching your kid grow up, but it's like watching your brother who's, done sports become a professional all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, and so to see Highway doing that nationwide tour with Mayday and that, I mean, that was a big deal for me, even though I wasn't there. So I love to see that type of shit.
Heck yeah. Now I heard from from talking to the homie Case, I think Case even went down to Sacramento to see him, to see Highway.
Yeah, I was bummed because I'm close to Sacramento, right? So the day that they showed up in Sacramento, I was flying out to Arizona, and the day I left Arizona, they played in Arizona, and I messaged Highway. I was like, I'm so pissed, bro. I have to miss the Sac because I'm flying to Arizona, and then the day you show up in Arizona is the day I fly back. I was a little bummed I had to miss it.
Most definitely. Hey, man. Well, Highway is he's consistent. So, I mean, he's gonna be on stage in Humboldt County here. He was just at a show for Chuck. Shout out to DJ Chuck. They were having a show for him at the Jam. But Highway's also gonna be doing a show here in Humboldt at the new nightclub above Louis on November 18th. So folks should check that out in Humboldt County if you see this. But yeah, shout out to Highway. He's again, that's one of the things I say that's a very good word to define the gentleman is consistent. You know what I'm saying? I really don't see, it's a testament to him because I really don't see anybody in Humboldt. This is not, I always got to say, I always got to preface things by, hey, this is never shade on anybody else when I'm trying to, observe, people doing their thing and everything like that. But like, I really don't feel there's anybody in Humboldt County that is as consistent as Highway with his with his YouTube. You know what I'm saying? With, dope albums, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for that, for holding the torch and, just continuing to keep Humboldt County hip hop at a high level.
And I think no one should ever take that as an insult to say that, that maybe you feel like you're being consistent, but if you really take a look at his website, his YouTube, everything, like you shouldn't take it as an insult. What you should take it as something to strive for, right? Like, don't take it as an insult that somebody doesn't think that you're as consistent, but you got to be humble. And if you look at it, you like, man, that's how I want my shit to be. That's what you should, you know what I mean? Because you're right. He's probably not just one of the best as far as putting the songs together and all that, but it's a whole package nowadays. You got to push a brand if you really want to do it, and if you just recording songs and putting them online, you get a little bit of attention. But when you got it like that, professional, like, website, YouTube channel, all that shit, like professional videos with, good features, like it's something, it should be something to strive for. It hasn't, been easy for Highway. And I've been there, from a distance and right beside him for a long time. And he definitely deserves it because he is not something that just got handed to him. He worked for every single bit of it. And I think as an artist, you have to if you want to get to that point. There's just no, I mean, there's very few here and there that just get that shit. Just, oh, you're amazing. Let me take you under my wing, give you all this stuff. It don't work like that.
Right. Nah, that's like a movie. That's a movie thing. That's not really life. Don't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But when you do see talented people get together, man, it's really a beautiful thing. And that's one of the coolest things about Humboldt County, man, is there's some really talented people out here. You know what I'm saying? And even you guys that, you guys have been out here, you guys have seen the scene in the art and the music. You guys know what Humboldt County hip hop is like, what it's about, how people are, cool. There's really not, be honest about it, what I'm saying? There might have been, beefs in the past and everything like that. But to be real about it, what I'm saying? It's too small of a community and folks are too cool out here. There's really not beef. You know what I'm saying?
It's a waste of time too. It's just a waste of time, and the influence runs deeper. Like, Jay is now in Chico and he spent some time in Humboldt, and you should when he reached out to me, and I've had some people reach out to me here and there throughout the years that I check everybody out. Like, if you hit me up, I'm gonna check you out. And I see there's a couple of times there's been some jokers, you know what I mean, that I could kind of tell. And then I'm like, man, they need to do their thing a little bit more before I even, respond or be a part of that. And this was a little bit more back in the day, but I instantly went and checked Jay shit out. He sent me videos, he sent me beats, I went and checked out his songs, and I was like, okay, you could see the influence in it, and I could see that he's trying to do, he's trying to make the shit on point. His videos were clean, his recordings were clean. Like I told you the last podcast, you should get people all the time come up and be like, man, just put me on. I'm tight. You know what I mean? I'm tight. I don't got any recordings or anything. I just need someone to put me in the studio. But he's trying to do it professional, right? He's trying to get a good studio going. His videos were clean, on point. Rhymes were on point, beats were on point. So immediately that's why I responded to him immediately, because if it was just some, joker out there, just like, yeah, remember this, let's do this shit. I'm tight. I'm cool. I promise, then I usually ignore that type of shit. I don't even respond, but when he hit me up, I went searching, like you do with anybody, before I even responded to him. And I was like, all right, because he's the homie's nephew. Doesn't necessarily mean that, just because he's like, secondary family doesn't mean I should reach out to him. But he definitely, I think some Humboldt artists should hit him up, check him out. And like you said, I think it'd be a good idea to have, like you said, have him on the podcast, so he can actually, talk instead of having me talk all the time, because I won't stop.
My bad, man. Like I said, I'm so used to just watching this. So like 4 times already, I forgot I was a part of this. I've been sitting here listening to you guys, man, and it's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
Hey, I love listening to what you guys got going on too. That's why I love this podcast, because there's people doing things out here. Kaj's been doing it out here, you know what I'm saying? And so, Jay, you got it going on too. And so the collaboration, man, it's just more of what we need. And so, no, I love it, fellas. You guys got the right thing going on.
Yeah, I found your podcast through Highway. I was on one of his lives one day, and forgot how it happened, but he was talking about like local music out there, and I brought up LCA, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "I can't believe you brought that up." He's like, "Hey, go check out Hip Hop Humboldt podcast." He's like, "Mental Cave just did an interview on there." He's like, "I got one on there," or I think he was about to, or something like that. So I went and checked out Mental Cases, man, and I subscribed to it ever since. Every day I'm sitting at work listening. I went through every episode listening to it, bro. I just thought it was cool because, like, there's artists out there that I never knew about until I started watching your podcast. And then I started checking them out and subscribing to their stuff. And I was like, man, this is cool. This is pretty much networking right here. I'm sitting here like listening to people that I never even would have heard about before that.
Hey, I really appreciate you tapping in. That's what this podcast is all about and for, you know what I'm saying? For folks to see who's been out here and who's out here now. Let everybody tap in with each other, because most of the people that have love for the craft have love for the culture. And if you have love for the culture, you're gonna want to know who's out here doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm not gonna point any fingers or say anybody's an imposter. I'm just saying, if you're an artist out here and you're putting your time and energy into a craft and a culture like hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna want to know who's out there. And my first thing is I'm gonna be on the lookout. Who are the imposters out there? Again, ain't nobody that I know or have interviewed an imposter. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you want to know who's doing what. So I'm glad that the podcast has facilitated, people tapping in with the community and networking, with who's out here, again, because we only have so many places to record. And so it's been super helpful for people to see, okay, Juice is out there doing the Juicebox, and that's a professional level recording studio you can go to. You know what I'm saying? Or Jay the Sarge is out there. He's got his studio where, I mean, you get your whole band out there kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And do some recording with a band. You know what I'm saying? So it was important for people to even just see and know that that was out there, because it's hard if you're, just, in Humboldt County without any kind of visibility on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to know what's going on. Even me, I've been living in Humboldt County for almost 22 years now, something like that. And, I've been a fan of hip hop big time and, my whole life. And so it was only the last few years where I even started to see, okay, there's like the Fat Boy Cypher going on and everything like that, and it's just a matter of I wasn't tapping in when, during the larger wave, when Potluck was big, when LCA was big, when Subliminal Sabotage was doing it, you know what I'm saying? And when, the years back. But now it's a big wave going on, and there's a lot of people tapping in. And so shout out to y'all for keeping it going. We need people taking the music to the next level, taking the whole game to the next level. Shout out to you, Jay, for what Kai's Jay was just explaining about you keeping it pro. You know what I'm saying? We need all that. Folks have got to have pro level visuals. I've had talent scouts hit me up like, hey, who's doing it in Humboldt County? And they need to have visuals. If you're not sending me a YouTube of them on a dope visual, then you're not sending me anything. And so I'm like, okay, that's why, I put the call out there. Folks have got to have dope visuals. So shout out to you. You're on top of it, you know?
Hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, just real quick too, man. I don't even want to, this might just be something that might just make your day, but even the list of what's dope around here that I got from the talent scout, you were on there. You were on there, fam. One of your videos was on there. So people are looking at what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? People are looking at Humboldt County. So it's time for everybody to start leveling up and following your lead. You know what I'm saying? Getting these dope visuals out there, taking it to the next level.
One of my videos was on there?
Yeah, man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I could go back through the conversation, but yeah, it was Ambitious was on there. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that's dope, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. That's what we need. Shout out to you for doing it.
Yeah, that's good shit. I'm glad to hear that, man.
Thank you. That's wild.
Hey, it's dope. Humboldt County hip hop right now it's reaching a tipping point, to the point where, again, shout out to the homie B Swizzlo, but B Swizzlo's working on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got a big show coming December 2nd at the ATL. We got the Oh So Heavy House Band, you know what I'm saying, backing over 20 MCs. Highway's gonna be there. I mean,
I have to tell you, that is the most amazing experience as a hip hop artist, to be able to, because Highway and I, we did several shows with Swizz in the Hip Hop Lounge, and man, I mean, if I could get a band together out here, I'd be back in there 100%. Like, that is just, there's no better feeling than having that band behind you, especially like, the artists that Swizz works with, they're just so good, so on point. Like, they at the end of the show, they get together and be like, oh, here's where I fucked up, or here's where I fucked up. And I'm like, not one person in the crowd, whether they do music or not, noticed at all. Like, just
high level,
smooth, right? Yeah. Just smooth. And so, and I mean, I can't say I can shout out Oli all day long, but another person who's just got his heart and soul into music and art in Humboldt is B Swizz. I don't think there's anybody who cares more than him. Like that guy is just, you know, he's an amazing artist himself and doesn't need to spend the time. A busy artist as well, very busy. Like, you know what I mean? He's got his hands in a lot of things, including, you know, Object Heavy, which is doing very well. But he takes the time to mentor, even if you're not talking to him directly. He mentors and he cherishes the music scene in Humboldt, and I think that you can't put a big enough emphasis on how important he is to Humboldt hip hop or art and culture in Humboldt in general. And Bob Dorn as well. Bob Dorn has been around for a very long time. Like, you know, like was one of the goals back in the day with LCA was like to, you know, if Bob Dorn wrote a little something about you, you were like, all right, yeah, we caught his attention, right? Because he's been there for a really long time. You know, just doing write-ups and just, you know, helping push art in Humboldt. So those two people definitely cannot get enough love for sure. And so I'm stoked. Swizz hit me up and he was like, what do I got to do? You just tell me, just let me know, you know? And so I definitely, I'm stoked on when we start. I think what's going to happen is, you know, we approaching the end of the year, we're approaching the holidays. A lot of people's going to be busy with their family and shit. And then I think Jay and I were talking is to just try to connect with people and get some beats to people, suggest some features, and then at the beginning of the year kind of hit it hard and start narrowing down the 15, 17, whatever songs it's going to be, start going through them and then talk about, you know, getting a mix and master, how we I think Jay, you even had the company that did the distribution deal the first time hit you up like immediately, right?
Yeah, it was GLM Entertainment. As soon as I posted it, they distributed the first album.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if we necessarily need a distribution deal because it's so easy for you to distribute your own stuff now. You know, they got all these websites, CD Baby and other ones that'll just put it on everything for you for one fee, you know, like a $50 fee per album. But yeah, I think we start getting the details a little bit more narrowed down after the first of the year. Right now, we're just hoping people reach out and get on that Humboldt Storms group on Facebook, or if maybe, you know, somebody that creates websites wants to reach out and talk about creating a website where people can link up. I think that's part of the plan, at least until the end of the year, get through the holidays, and then really like go hard at figuring out the album cover. Like I said, I think Generations is a great title. Humboldt Storms Generations. Yeah, and then, you know, just everybody link up, hit us up. Hit me up on Facebook, hit Jay up on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And let's get this thing popping.
Heck yeah. Hey, I know people are ready for it. I know people are ready for it around here. There's a lot of people that know about it already. And so this pod, once we get this out there and start sharing it, anybody that doesn't know, they're going to know. And, you know, so definitely you guys want to tap in with Jay. You guys want to tap in with Kai's Jay. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jay, drop your Instagram. That'll be a dope way for people to holler at you.
It's ambitious_530 for Instagram, and then Facebook is just Jay Montez.
Yeah. Tap in with Jay, y'all. Sounds like you running point for it. You know what I'm saying? So you're the person that everybody's gonna want to tap in with. And you know, it's time to start getting ready, y'all. You know, get your beats ready, get your bars ready. If you want to be a part of Humboldt Storms Part 2, it's gonna be big. And you're gonna be blessed to just be able to be a part of it. So keep that in mind, and shout out to you guys for, you know, leading the way with this.
For sure. And I'm already working on something with Jay right now. He sent me some beats and I got some verses. And then Jay, I hadn't got a chance to tell you yet, but Case and I had put together a couple verses on a song. And I think we got Hap Hathaway on that. I talked to Case and he putting that together too. So I think they're going to be me, Case, and Hap Hathaway song that he wants us to use on there. So yeah, we definitely would love to hear from, you know, some of the older cats as well. Some you know, Subliminal Sabotage, some Garth Vader. I would love to hear, you know, something from Josh from Potluck, and anybody else. I mean, I know I'm missing a couple names, not that they're forgotten or whatever, but it's been a minute. So we'd love to hear, you know, definitely OEB, you know what I'm saying? And his whole team, Devious, like, you know, last time I was on here, I forgot to shout out quite a few people because there's just such a long list of people that I did music with back in the day, but definitely guys like, you know, Devious have been around for a long time. Flo J, you know what I'm saying? Like, all those guys, I definitely would love. And then obviously the newer artists, the Owlbears, which I just keep seeing his name everywhere, you know what I mean? And then and like you said, Juice, and there's just so many young new artists out there that we would love to reach out, especially those people that have resources to help other artists, you know, record and do whatever, along with, you know, artists that are maybe doing, you know, graffiti or drawings for album covers. So again, generations, if you take that and you want to create something and put it out there, we would love to see it, whether it's the album cover or we use it for merch or whatever. I would love for people to tap in.
Heck yeah. Nah, this is gonna be a big one for the community, y'all. This is gonna be big. And I mean, we've already, like you said, we've already seen um important people in the community tap in with this. Oli's giving it the thumbs up. B Swizzlow's involved. You know what I'm saying? Willing to put in time. And so, I mean, it's just a matter of once people start to see what this is and how big this is going to be, people are going to want to tap in. And it's honestly, you know, it's really going to be on y'all to figure out who's, you know, y'all are going to have the hard part of figuring out what the end product is going to look like. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I don't want people to be discouraged. Like, you know, we got to understand not everybody's going to be on it, but this doesn't have to be the only CD that we're going to do either. So, you know, that's something to realize. Like, you know, depending on how much stuff we get, you know, and how many songs are submitted, you know, we're not going to make it a 40 song album or whatever. But that doesn't mean that, you know, we can't push these to another CD. We can't push them in some other way, shape, or form as being associated with Humboldt Storms, as long as it's, you know, as long as it's clean. And we definitely encourage people that, you know, if you have the money to and don't have a studio, to pay for studio time, you know, or reach out. We can, you know, try to help facilitate something. Jay obviously has reached out on Humboldt Storms and said he has access, and if people can make their way out there, he can definitely put people in the studio. I plan on, hopefully after the first of the year, making my way down to see Jay and getting in the studio and actually putting work together. Because I mean, I love, you know, getting sent stuff here and there. We put stuff together, but it's better when you can get in the studio and actually, you know, vibe off each other and do it that way. I think has always been the best way to make music together. But nowadays it's pretty easy, you know, emailing each other, you know, Dropbox, whatever it may be. So yeah, definitely, you know, reach out. Don't get discouraged if you know it doesn't. I think it is going to be difficult for him and I to pick and choose, because we both got, you know, we got a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I'm ready, you know, and people that are good and people that have been waiting for this. So I definitely tell, you know, I've said it a million times. It's not a everything gets on board. And if you're a hip hop artist, you got to realize that by now. You don't get to be on all the shows. You don't get to be on all the CDs, but that doesn't mean you stop trying. You know what I mean? You put in more work.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It just, you know, a lot of the times things are, you know, it's just timing. And so, you know, if you think your track might not, you know, it might not be on this first one, but hey, there's or this, you know, volume 2. But like you said, there's volume 3, volume 4 to think about. There's the future to think about. It's all about collaborating, networking, and tapping in and making these relationships in the community. You know what I'm saying? That's the foundation of it all, to where people are growing from that. Even if you don't get on a CD or something like that. Well, okay, well, you met Kai's Jay, and you're from there. You know what I'm saying? You met Jay. You might meet a bunch of other people. You might be able to go down to the studio that Jay's handling down there in Chico. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a move for people up here. Like if they're even hearing that, there's gonna be people like perking up when they're hearing like, oh shoot, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to not even
Yeah,
just hit the studio, but go out outside the area to do it. You know what I'm saying? Get outside of Humboldt and and go record. Oh heck yeah! So folks got to really tap in.
absolutely.
Hey, I really love this, y'all. I'm just thankful that y'all are doing this for the community. That's another part of this is, there's a lot of your time involved with this. You are putting in hours. You guys are putting in hours for the community, and so don't, folks need to make sure that they don't just discount that. You know what I'm saying, and recognize when people are putting in, energy towards the culture. And I think a lot of the people that are on the same wavelength see that, realize that, and like to tap in with people that are giving back, that are giving, their time and energy for the culture. So, what I'm saying? I think that this is going to be a big one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to say it kind of it made it, and I was excited about it because being able to give back, to even the younger generation, guys like Jay or whatever, was like part of the reason that I do it. But Humboldt hip hop in general kind of made me who I am more than I could ever explain. Like how I carry myself with confidence, just so much about what doing music made me the person that I am today. And I mean, I don't, I got I got a pretty good life. And a lot of it is because of the ambition that I had to try to like move forward in music. I put forward in my career, in my life and all that stuff. So really music kind of, it shaped who I am today, years and years later. Shit, I'm almost 50 years old. And I attest that a lot of the things that I accomplish in life are because music put me to the test. You know what I mean? Doing music and trying to be an artist out there isn't so easy, but it put me to the test and made me who I am today, for sure. So it's nice to like I said, for when Jay reached out, I was excited, especially since he's like the nephew of a really close friend who I didn't even know listened to my music that much, because he was one of the homies who I never had yes men around me. You know what I mean? He was just the homie. He never was like, your shit's tight, but he was pushing it on the side, and I never even knew, like I didn't even know he listened to shit because, I didn't know how involved he was. Like, so that it was cool to have him reach out.
That's super dope. That's the generations that's keeping it going.
Generations, baby. That's what it is.
Heck yeah. Hey Jay, make sure I want to tap in with you at some point too, fam, because we got to do a podcast episode. Me and you get you some time, get your own episode on the Hip Hop Humboldt podcast.
Yeah, anytime, man. I think it's like 3 hour trip from here. I try to go out there at least like once every month or two.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, anytime, man. Hit me up. I'm down to do whatever.
That's what's up, fam. Yeah, let's stay in touch. And your next time out here, we'll tap in, hit the studio.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what's up, fam. Hey, fellas, I really appreciate you guys. I'm only, again, like I say this a lot of the podcast episodes, you guys are always welcome back. So if it's whether it's to announce that the Humboldt Storms Volume 2 is going to come out, or to start rallying the troops for Volume 3 or anything else in between, y'all just holler at me.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you having it.
Yeah. And make sure y'all tap in with Kai's Jay and Jay Montez for this Humboldt Storms Volume 2. Jay dropped his Instagram. You can follow Jay on Instagram. Tap in with them there. Tap in with them on Facebook. But it's time to get it going, y'all.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate you having us there.
Yeah. Hey, thank y'all. Have a good rest of your Sunday, fellas. I really appreciate your time.
All right,
You
you
guys
too,
too.
man.